So let's unleash the wank session for the evening and round off Saturday's fixtures with Chelsea beating the mighty Leeds United 3-1 and regaining their throne for now at the top of the Premier League table. They sit aloft in England. Yes, unfortunately, I have had to succumb to a large amount of my own mental pressure and admit that I do believe that Chelsea are title contenders. And this game proved that. This was a big test for them. I don't think Leeds have slid a little bit, but they are still a quality outfit and they can still cause a lot of damage, as case in point, the first 10 minutes of this game. Leeds, strike, albeit from a bit of a dodgy mistake. Again, Kurt Zuma, not a bad player, but he is prone to a mistake. And if I'm Frank Lampard, I'm saying, Kurt, come over here. Come here, mate. Let's just have a little word. Stop fucking around, you little fucking penis. I'll pay you a lot of fucking money to play football. You understand me, you dickhead? Now just fucking do your job, all right, yeah? Now shut the fuck up and get back out there, you prick. Nice header, by the way. Great goal. That's the conversation we'll be having on. Yeah, that's the conversation we'll be having on Monday with him.
Absolutely.
For me, Chelsea looked every bit the team that I think can contend for the title this season. But there have been games where I've seen Chelsea play. I watched them play against West Brom, right, when they drew. I watched them play against Spurs, woeful draw. And then also saw them against Man United, which was probably the most boring game of the entire season. All three games they drew. And my only critique right now that I could say is that they aren't punishing teams that are sitting off them enough. I look at, for instance, there was an opportunity against Spurs and Man United especially to stamp their authority on those games and say, we are Chelsea, we are here to be the number one title contenders. We have an opportunity here. And they didn't take those opportunities there. That being said, they're not losing games. And if you don't lose games, ultimately you're going to be there or thereabouts. They just don't lose. They don't lose games. And again, Giroud factors in. And I think at this point, if Frank Lampard doesn't throw a large amount of money, Roman Abramovich doesn't say, you want the money? I have lots of money. You need to pay this guy, because when it comes to the end of the season, because ultimately, if he goes in the January transfer window, who are you going to replace him with? There's nobody really out there to replace him with who's a like for like. You haven't got, he's a big unit of a man as well. He's not some small fry athletic striker who can get knocked about a bit. He's not a Lookman or anything. He's a big unit. He's one of the best. I think he's the best header of the ball in the league. And I think that's really crucial because he offers something different, because Werner and Ziyech play really nice ground football. They like to keep the ball in around their feet. Giroud doesn't mind mopping up the scraps. He doesn't mind poaching. He doesn't mind getting in the mix. He doesn't mind getting his elbows a little bit dirty, jostling with defenders, getting a header in. And we saw that against Sevilla. He just basically abused them by out-muscling them. He was far more physical than Sevilla were. They couldn't handle that. And obviously, especially in the Spanish league, where physicality is not exactly a strong suit, for anyone who's watched La Liga. Beautiful football, but not very physical. I think that they need to pick him up. But again, they play such good team football. Very rarely do I come away from a Chelsea game thinking, if it wasn't for so-and-so, you wouldn't have won there. Or if it wasn't for so-and-so, you know what, Timo Werner, the goals haven't dried up, but he's not firing on all cylinders like he has been in some games, and yet they're still putting together great results. Come on in. Mm-hmm. Give us a little bit of a fapping session.
I'm concerned because we lost Hakim Ziyech now to a hamstring injury. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. That's possibly longer. Time.
Yeah, and you've got quite a nice little run-up coming over that.
Yes, but we got Christian Pulisic back, which that's what I want to fap about today, folks, that Christian Pulisic, along with 2 other people from the United States men's national team, Giovanni Reyna, Weston McKennie.
Yanks.
Hold on. Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, and Giovanni Reyna, for the first time in 15 years, scored in one of the 5 major European leagues on the same day. The last time it was done was Brian McBride, Jermaine Jones, and Claudio Reyna back in 2005.
Oh, yes. We love a bit of Brian McBride at Craven Cottage.
Yes. As much as Christian Pulisic's goal was.
Is this your opportunity? So what are we? So what do we think? What is the aim for the United States men's national team in the next 4 years?
They got no shot.
No,
They
but
got
I mean,
no
what's the
shot.
aim? Like, what would you consider an achievement for them? They've got to get in the World Cup, right?
They got to get
Should be
into
qualifying for the World
knockout.
Cup.
They got to get in the knockout stage at the World Cup.
Okay, so
They get that. They're
losing
good.
to
They get past
losing
the
to
group
Trinidad
stage.
and Tobago isn't an option this time round, is it?
Fucking no, absolutely not.
Oh, that was very amusing. And also, you really need to get Mexico, that bugbear, off of you.
Oh, fuck.
Really
Mexico.
funny. If anything, it's you that needs to build. It's Mexico that needs to build a wall, mate. Keep you lot out. Awful.
But Kurt Zuma and Thiago Silva have formed this partnership, and so far it's working well. But the guy I want to talk to on our defense, and I've been saying this and saying this, Reece fucking James is money. Fucking money.
Yeah.
Because
Client money too.
He is fucking just awesome. Ziyech on that first goal to Giroud, Ziyech holding the ball. All of a sudden, you see Reece come out of nowhere and just cross it right to Olivier and bang, right in. He's doing this constantly. Reece is, if he's not getting more quality playing time soon, he's going to leave. And I think that Reece James has taken over Cesar Azpilicueta's spot. And I guarantee, if not this year, maybe next year, Cesar Azpilicueta is either going to leave Chelsea or he's going to retire.
He feels like more of a squad player now, Cesar.
I think he's
only 31 though. I can't see him retiring at 31, 32 years old. He is Spanish. He'll probably end up going back to Spain and probably playing in one of the lower. He might end up at Cadiz Nuts.
Right. But
great win for them.
Right. Pulisic was really good in his substitution.
That's where he seems to be playing really well as well. Like coming off the bench, actually, really.
Yes.
Player, and
but now with Ziyech hurt,
he's going to have to play.
The question is if he's going to play. If he does play, is he going to play starting, or are they going to play Havertz there? Are they going to play Callum Hudson-Odoi? It's the question of, depending on how bad Hakim is hurt, who's going to fill in that spot. And Kai Havertz in this game was really good. He got picked out a couple of times on defense, but I could see Kai, filling in that spot.
Havertz. I like Havertz. He's a good player. He was at Bayer Leverkusen last season.
Yes.
And he was a good player there. And he was actually one of the reasons why Bayer Leverkusen are a European football team this year and playing in Europa League. It was very much because of him. A very, very good player. Big price tag, 71 million. And considering one thing I like about Frank Lampard, and it pains me to give him any praise, because he's a prick. Nah, he's all right. I always preferred Lampard over Terry. Always preferred Lampard over Terry. I thought John Terry was a fucking bellend, and you're never going to get me to shift on that. I thought he was a massive cock waffle. But one thing I will say for Frank Lampard as a manager is he's not afraid, despite the money that was spent, and obviously he would have had a say. He would have said, I want to go and get Carl Havertz. And I know that Carl Havertz, one of the big reasons he actually spoke about it on Chelsea's YouTube channel, which I hope I will never have to foray onto again because but he actually said that it was because of Timo Werner that he arrived. Timo Werner was the one who sort of said to him, come and join me at Chelsea, mate, it'll be a laugh. And that's why he's turned up, and I think that's also helped Timo Werner because he's more comfortable. He's got a guy who obviously he'll know, kind of like a countryman, so to speak, somebody who can come in and just that home comfort a little bit makes it easier for him to adapt to that kind of lifestyle. One thing I was going to say about Frank Lampard, he's not afraid to take a player like that off just because he's got a hefty price tag. And, you think how long Man United persisted with Pogba, even though he was playing poorly. As soon as Havertz looks like he might be a little bit off the pace, Lampard will withdraw him. And he'll say, right, sit down then. take, whether that be to take it easy through injuries, knocks, or whatever, or even just because he's not having a fantastic game, Lampard is willing to say, Havertz off the pitch. I don't care that you cost 71 million, sunshine. There are other players who are more worthy.
Cal, out you go.
That's the joy of having a player like Mason Mount as well, who I
Right.
think doesn't get nearly enough credit as a Chelsea player. I really like Mason Mount. I just like his engine.
Yes.
Yeah, nice
All
player.
fire.
Just another one of those young, fantastic products that just finds their way into football the right way. That's nice as well, because if there's one thing you could really give Chelsea a lot of fucking aggro for, it is their lack of homegrown stars and how little they have produced. For the longest time, it was basically them relying, and let's be honest as well, Frank Lampard was grown in West Ham, not Chelsea. And for the longest time, they relied on guys like that. And in England in particular, there is a patriotic passion for British and English footballers, and especially England, obviously, and they want them to do well. And they want them to be effective. They might boo the living shit out of Marcus Rashford, but when he's got an England shirt on, everyone loves him. That was the same with Wayne Rooney. You fat United bastard! All you do is shag grannies. Oh, he's playing for England now. Rooney. That's just how it works.
Right.
Yeah. No, but once again, Chelsea 3-1, comfortable, good game. Made Leeds look incredibly average. Leeds will be fine. I don't think they're going to contend. I think they might squeeze themselves into Europa League spot if they can keep going. A lot of it's down to, I think they're finding out that they've got a good enough side to be in the Premier League, no question. But if they want to move up to the next level, they're probably going to have to bring in a couple more players. But I like Bamford. He takes his opportunities. I've said on this podcast before, he reminds me of Vardy. I feel like Bamford and Vardy should start up front for England. That's my opinion. I love his old school English mentality to football. It's a poacher. Proper
Could you
old
imagine
school
Bamford and Vardy at Leicester?
Yeah, I mean, Leicester would be very dangerous, or vice versa, if Leeds somehow could coax Vardy away from Leicester. But with Vardy, he never stops. It's amazing.
No.
But he is in his 30s now, and you got to think that the pace is going to slide to, it's going to back away slightly over time. But that's the Premier League for Saturday. Looking forward to tomorrow's fixtures.